there is a clear shift that is going on at Barcelona right now. Decisions are being made. Ever since Barcelona lost against Real Madrid 3-2, it's quite clear, and we all know that Barcelona are not going to be winning anything. Not La Liga, not the Champions League. We have been knocked out in 2 other competitions. This season is over. The only thing that we have left to do is for us to play our last 6 matches and to solidify our spot in Europe. It's important for us to remain in the top 4 and go into the Champions League next season, which is why we have to win these next 6 matches. But also, there is this fire that is going on in Barcelona right now, and it is about that goal that was taken away from Lamine Yamal. That goal that should have been for Yamal could have led to Barcelona going on a 2-1 lead. It was very important, right? Because I know that many might say, oh, Kevin, it's because, the reason why this doesn't matter is because Madrid could have scored maybe 3 more goals. But no, I think that if Barcelona had that opportunity to go on a 2-1 lead, it would have led to us gaining much more momentum to win the match. Just think about it, right? Can you imagine if Lamine Yamal scored his first goal against Real Madrid at the age of 16 years old? Of course, the squad would have been very pumped. And so that goal was very important for us, but it was taken away. And that's very unfortunate. And that is why Barcelona is taking the extra steps to find out the truth on what actually went on. Did the ball actually go over the line? And to many of us, it is quite clear that yes, the ball went over the line clearly. Now, here's the thing. There has been so many pages, whether they are Real Madrid pages or some other pages from the media, that have posted this exact picture here. And what they have basically said is Canal Plus have confirmed that the ball did not cross the line for Barcelona's shot. This was them trying to justify that the ball that Yamal put through did not go over the line. That is basically their argument here. And this was a post that was made throughout the game and after the game. Everybody was reposting this, and most of the pages were coming from the Real Madrid type of pages. But then only to find out a couple of hours later, many people fact checked this to make sure that if this was true or not. And it says here through the community notes on Twitter that La Liga does not have this technology, meaning how did this page even get this picture here if La Liga don't even supply these type of images? There is no camera above the goal line. Point number 2, Canal Plus do not even use that type of logo. They have not used this logo since 2014. And so clearly you can already see that this image was fake and was generated by somebody else or was made before 2014. And then the third point was this photo is impossible to be from a La Liga match or a 2024 match. And so don't you find that very suspicious? Because the fact that they used an image that had nothing to do with this game to justify why Lamine Yamal's goal should have never been counted, again, don't you find this suspicious? Because, after this information came out, then you start to realize that many of these posts that these pages were putting out, they have been deleted after it has been fact checked. And so this is very suspicious. And this also justifies the reason why we have the right to say, okay, we need to find out the truth, because why are they lying to us? Why are they posting pictures that have nothing to do with this game to justify why it should have never been a 2-1 lead for Barcelona? It's very suspicious. And I also find it very suspicious knowing that Javier Tebas at the same time while these posts were being made was going out through the game while the game was going on to argue why there should be no goal line in La Liga and why the goal line technology is a bad thing. And so it's crazy to me. And you know what's so funny is that the best thing that these Madrid fans do have to say, even after everything that I have put out right now through this video, is they're going to be saying, oh, Kevin, keep crying. I can see your tears. The only crying that is going on right now, bro, to be honest, is us crying out of laughter, because we're starting to realize that the only reason why you guys can win is because you guys do get hope. And usually it's a 13 versus 11, not 11 versus 11. It was never that. We are starting to realize that us as Barcelona have to face against a Madrid side that play with 13 men, not 11 men. Those other 2 people is the VAR and the refs. And we're also starting to realize that your father, right, you Madrid fans, your guys' father is Javier Tebas. Like, you really want to continue to tell us to stop crying, right? And tell every Barcelona fan to stop crying, right? Because that is the only thing that you guys want to be saying on social media. Okay, fine, sure. We'll stop crying the moment you guys go tell Vinicius to stop crying. Because let me tell you, like, we were doing Vinicius a favor in the last game when we were facing him. We wanted to play football. We were trying to play our football. Apparently Madrid did not want to. And I remember Vinicius was the exact same player that said to the press, I only want to play football. That's all he wants to do. And we gave him that last night, but apparently he did not want to do that. Apparently he's lying. Like, I don't think that he wants to play football. I think that he just wants to play on social media. Like, why does he want to laugh at a player who's only 20 years old only because he scored a goal against Real Madrid, which was Fermin Lopez? Why do you go on social media and laugh at a youngster? Why do that? So to me, you don't want to play football, dude. You want to play on social media. You want to make fun of these youngsters. This whole thing about I just want to focus and play football, it's cap. It's a lie. But be careful, right? Like, us as Barcelona fans, right? Let's be careful, because if we call Vinicius like some names, he's going to be crying in front of the the press and then turn like a victim immediately. But then when he's behind social media, he wants to be a bully and just hide behind social media. Very similar to how Florentino Perez and Javier Tebas hide behind the VAR. And so we know that this thing is like corrupt. It is rigged, and this is the reason why Joan Laporta wanted to make a statement about this whole situation. And so this is going to be a statement that is going to be very long, but very important. So I'm going to read you guys exactly what Joan Laporta said. And I quote, "Dear fans and football fans in general, as president of FC Barcelona, I would like to express the dissatisfaction that results from the fact that one day after one of the most important matches in the global calendar, the abuse of the VAR tool. As we all know, I have never been a big advocate of VAR because I think as it is applied, it takes the excitement away from football. But what I support is that since we have this technology, it should always be used to avoid mistakes that may lead to unfair decisions. With this statement, I not only want to express dissatisfaction from our end with the management of VAR that happened yesterday, but also I want to emphasize that even though it is a tool that has been with us for some time, it still causes confusion and it's very contradicting depending on the matches and teams. If after analyzing these documents, the club finds that there was an error in estimating the shot, which we believe it is, we will initiate all appropriate measures to reverse the situation without excluding the necessary judicial proceedings. It is confirmed that it was a legal goal, as we believe it is. We will go further and ask for a replay, as happened in a European match due to a VAR error." Then he continues, "We're also object to several actions that occurred during the match, which although VAR could have been consulted, were ignored by the referee. Socios, male and female, Barcelona fans, male and female fans, this position on the club is not random, but rather a measure that we must practice in light of the situation we are living in, of lack of protection, and we have suffered from clear wrong decisions that directly harmed us and others have benefited our competitor this season, which when combined shows this difference in points is at the top of the league." So it's a very powerful statement coming from Joan Laporta. Everything that he did state is facts. And I'm pretty sure, right, that the people that work behind this organization, whoever does make these decisions, I know that they're going to come out with this excuse and say, okay, yeah, we're going to further investigate this thing, but to be honest, we don't have any clear images and nothing has been wrong regarding this decision. I'm pretty sure that is what they're going to say. And this is going to be the reason why I'm making this video. I want to tell everybody here that whatever Barcelona are going to do to investigate this case is not going to be overturned and nothing is going to be exposed. Like nothing is going to happen. Like I'm proud that Joan Laporta is taking a stance, but nothing is going to happen. Barcelona will fight this case, but the game is the game. It's finalized. Barcelona lost 3 points. And the reason why I made this video is because I do think that if Barcelona are going to continue to play in this corrupt, rigged league, Barcelona need to be at their strongest in order for us to overcome this rigged league, because nothing is going to change. Like I know that this league this season was set up for Real Madrid to win, but if we want to overcome this, the only way we can do that is by having a strong FC Barcelona, a world beater that is led by Xavi Hernandez, which is why it's important for us to ensure Xavi's continuity. Because if Barcelona lacks anything, like in anything, right? If we lack a pivot, if we lack a left back or left winger, or we just lack motivation, or we don't believe in the ideas that Xavi Hernandez is trying to implement, Barcelona will suffer. And we're not beating this corruption. With us playing in this league, we cannot relax in whatever way. Because if it's really going to be Barcelona against La Liga, the refs, and Real Madrid, we're going to have to be at 110% in terms of our mental standpoint and our football. And Xavi knows this. Let me tell you, Xavi really does know this. And the only way we can have Xavi continue is by telling Xavi, hey, look, in this summer, we will reinforce the squad. Because there has been so many sources claiming that Xavi is closer than ever to continue at Barcelona. But there is one exception. Xavi must be able to find solutions for this squad and to reinforce the squad as a whole. So this is what the story does say. In a pivotal week for Barcelona, Joan Laporta, the club's president, has been vocal about his desire for Xavi to remain as coach. However, Xavi is deliberating his future, seeking assurance from the board regarding squad improvements that were lacking last summer. While those close to Xavi acknowledge his inclination to leave, they also hint at the possibility of him staying if the club can meet his conditions. Xavi has requested a meeting with Barcelona to discuss the potential for his continuation as coach. His primary demand is clear: guarantees for squad strengthening in the upcoming transfer window. Despite receiving internal support, Barcelona is hesitant on complying with Xavi's conditions, preferring instead for him to adapt to the existing circumstances. The board emphasizes their inability to make promises, expressing a preference for a coach who can motivate the current squad without making big signings. Financial constraints further limits Barcelona's ability to make significant moves in the transfer market. As discussions do unfold, the club finds itself at a crossroad, with Xavi's his future hanging in the balance and decisions to be made for the betterment of the team. So it's a huge story. It's a huge one because I do think that Xavi is closer than ever to stay. We just have to ensure good signings. It has to be a world-class pivot. There has to be a world-class attacker. This is why we hear reports about how Xavi Hernandez wants Zubimendi or Kimmich for the pivot position, and also why we hear reports about Barcelona wanting to sign Bernardo Silva because Xavi Hernandez wants that attacker. So you know what's crazy is that many of you guys might find this crazy, but it's normal. Every coach should be allowed to say, this is the type of players I do want. Like, go watch outside of FC Barcelona and then come back and tell me whether this is crazy or not. What Barcelona's trying to do here and what Xavi wants is for Barcelona to act like a normal club. Let's pay really close attention to Arsenal and what they have been doing. They have spent 550 million euros so far since Arteta came over. There's errors that have been made throughout the years, squad mistakes. They have just been eliminated by a weak Bayern Munich team in the Champions League, and they're finally in first place by a 1-point difference right now, with Man City still having one game less played. Many might assume that after spending 550 million euros at Arsenal should be like a world-beating team, but they're not. And let me tell you, this summer that Arsenal are going to go through, it's going to be very similar to the one of Liverpool of 2018. There's going to be a huge recycle yet again, but this time it's not going to be Liverpool, it's going to be Arsenal. Arsenal are going to be making their final adjustments to become that world-beating team. After 4 years, right, Arsenal are finally going to that stage after making a few tweaks within the squad, and they're going to make that this summer. Let me tell you, all they have to introduce is 2 new players. Let's just say it's Kimmich and Vlahovic for them. It's going to seal the deal for them. And the same thing could be said with FC Barcelona. We have made squad mistakes. We have made errors. We have spent some money that maybe did not turn out so well for us in order for us to get the best results possible. But we do have to go through another cycle, another transfer window to continue bettering this team. And eventually we will get to that point where all we have to do is make some tactical adjustments and some squad adjustments, like small little minor ones, and that is what's going to lead us to becoming a world-beating team. So the pressure is now on Joan Laporta on whether he can really ensure these signings for this summer, because I do think that if we can make some squad tweaks in this summer specifically and continue to strengthen our squad, Barcelona are going to be much better. It's just one more transfer window, and that's all. And we can go into the next season with a much better approach and truly beat down this rigged and corrupt league. And so that is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.